Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Sam, and this week I'm going to be doing another reading vlog. This week I'm going to be continuing every series that I'm in the middle of. I have finished a few series off, caught up on a few series, but I've also added a couple series to my list. So I feel like it's time to do this once again and try to catch up on a few more series, or at least continue a few more series. I want to make sure that this is a priority. I don't want to be forgetting everything that happens in all of these series that I am reading. I feel like normally I have an idea of the books that I want to read in these videos, the books that I have sort of been drawn to, and I had an idea for all of the books that I was going to read in this video this week. But I think I'm changing my mind. I think I'm going to spice it up. I think I might do more of a mood reading vlog and sort of just pick what I'm in the mood for. I do have a couple that are on the top of my list, but I'm not really, I don't know, I'm not tied to anything. I just want to read what I'm in the mood for. There is one book that is on my TBR that for sure I'm going to be starting with, and that is Spiral by Bookstagram. This is book 2 in the first book was Collide. I'm not sure what the series is called or if there is a series name for this, but these are college sports romances. Although this one might not be college because our main character was drafted for a hockey team. So maybe it's just after college. I'm not 100% sure. Either way, it's a sports romance. I'm excited about it. We have a hockey player and a ballerina. I've heard that this one is just phenomenal, and I cannot wait to get into it. Yeah, the first one was really cute, and the communication was really good in that. So I'm intrigued to see how this one is going to go, what the plot of this one is going to be like. And I feel like it's been a while since I just read a fun hockey sports romance. Although I guess I read Pucking Sweet a couple months ago. This is what we're going to start with. Have another book that I am trying to finish up, so I will check back in once I have started this one to give you a little plot summary. Good morning, everybody. So I have started Spiral and I made it 90 pages in yesterday. I'm not really sure how I'm feeling about it yet. I definitely enjoyed Collide, and as I was getting into this book, I forgot a lot of what happened in the first book, a lot of the characters' names and kind of who they were to people. So that's a little bit frustrating in that I know that in book 1 we got very good sort of found family, kind of just like team friendships, and just like this really cute, fun community of the hockey team. And this one, we are following Elias, who is from the hockey team in book 1, though him and Aiden, who are the characters from book 1, have graduated and have been picked up by the Toronto Thunder hockey team. So this is like post-college, we're not really in that university setting anymore, and he has kind of been getting some bad press about his romantic adventures that are false. And so he's finding a really tough time, I guess, being in the spotlight and also being able to perform on the ice as he was in university. So he's participating in this raffle, I guess, auction, so that people can bid on having a date with hockey players. And he has this stalker, and in comes Sage, who is the niece to like the owner of the hockey team, or like the manager of the hockey team, something like that. And he called her in to assist in replacing a ballerina for some performance that they did at this event. And she happens to sit with Aiden, and Aiden's like, here, use my money to bid on Elias. And so that's like their meet cute. But I don't know, just like Sage definitely has some family problems and family trauma and everything. So I feel like her reaction to some situations is understandable, but it's just kind of rubbing me the wrong way. And I don't really feel that connection between them. I'm not really getting all giddy for them, which is really unfortunate because I was very excited to read this book. I heard great things about it, and obviously I still have quite a bit left. So I feel like there could be some good character development or like conversation about mental health and things like that. We'll see. Right now, it's not hitting the way that I thought it was going to, but I am still enjoying it. Like, it's a very cute, quick read, fun little sports romance. But I'm just not obsessed yet. So that's it for now. Good morning, everybody. I wanted to check in for this reading vlog. I have some updates to share. So on Thursday, I ended up getting like 200 pages into Spiral by Val Cabra. And then on Friday, I woke up with another eye infection. So I've been dealing with that over the weekend. I am finally feeling better. It's looking better. Hopefully this is it. Hopefully I figured out what the cause was. I've gotten rid of everything that has come in contact with my eye finally. And yeah, I'm not gonna live that. This is it because I cannot do this again. So as for Spiral, I did end up finishing this book yesterday over the weekend. I really wanted to enjoy this book more than I did. And I think that it started off cute, but I feel like the relationship dynamic between our two main characters was kind of strange. I didn't feel their connection at all. And as I was reading, I was recognizing there's a lot of like big moments in this book, and it touches on a lot of important or maybe a bit heavier themes, but it doesn't really dive into anything, and our characters don't really have any of the mundane activities in between the big things, none of the mundane conversations of trying to get to know each other. And so the relationship just feels like they're very comfortable, but we didn't get to see them get that way. And I just wanted more of a like organic building of their relationship. Like I said, there were some like heavier topics that came up, but didn't really delve into the background of it, the resolution of it, like anything. There was also seemingly going to be a big plot about Sage's ex, and that didn't really turn into anything in the way that I thought it was going to. And any of the like big conflicts didn't really turn into anything either. They were wrapped up very quickly. I just wanted it to be a bit more of like a longer plot or a more consistent plot. And yeah, so unfortunately, I was hoping that I was going to love this a lot more than I did. So I think I settled on like a 3.5-star rating for this. It was cute at times, but didn't like give what I was hoping for. Yeah, I just wanted to see like they were both working on things in their career, but we didn't get to see them really practicing or preparing for anything. I don't know. I just wanted more. And I feel like we didn't get like enough of the basics of their relationship. Then the next book that I'm going to be reading for this reading vlog, I feel like is cheating a bit because it's technically book 1 in the series, but there was a prequel novella, which I have read, so I am continuing the series. But that is Vow of Deception by Rena Kent. Now, I don't know much about what to say about this book. I did start it a bit on Thursday. He's crazy. So this book follows Adrian, who we meet in what's that called? The Throne Duet, I believe, which I am reading through the entire Renaverse in the like Mafia order. So I'm starting with all the Mafia books, which there was some hints to things that happen in like the non-Mafia books. So I don't think I'm reading it chronologically, which I was really wanting to do, but I think I mentioned before, this is the way that I saw that Emmy is reading it, so I just figured I would follow her because she got this recommendation from some other people. Yeah, I really don't know what to say about this because the beginning of the book like kind of lays out the plot in the first, I think I'm only like 3 or 4 chapters in, only like 35 pages in. But if you are reading everything in Rita Kent's Rainverse, then obviously it does spoil some things. So I guess I'm just gonna go based off this being like book 1 in the series. And if you don't want any spoilers to the Rainiverse, I will put where you can jump to. But essentially, we are following Adrian, who is one of the like mafia leaders, I believe, that we met in the Throne Duet. And in the Throne Duet, we kind of see that there's like something weird going on between him and his wife. And we find out that he kills her in the beginning of the Vow of Deception. And it talks about like doppelgangers, and we meet this other woman, Winter, who is homeless, really struggling, has a very rough life, it seems. And she is essentially kidnapped by Adrian and asks her to be his wife. I guess to like replace his wife because they must look identical. Yeah, so Adrian is insane, like genuinely insane. And I'm very intrigued to see what happened. I'm intrigued to see if we're gonna learn what happened before the series started, like in the Throne Duet. Like I wanna know what was going on because his wife was very concerned, especially at the end of book 2 in the Throne Duet, the Throne of Power, I believe. Yeah, so that's where I am right now. The first book is very short. It's only like 280 pages, so I'm hoping I can get a good chunk read today. These books read very quickly for me, but definitely very dark, very twisty. One thing I have noticed, the novella for the Vow of Deception or the Deception trilogy, I think is just the first few chapters of book 1. Maybe there's a bit extra thrown in there because I've read all this before. Like the first few chapters I've seen before. So that was a bit frustrating. It was definitely a bit confusing in the beginning, but I think I have sort of figured out what is going on for the most part. Very happy to be back in my dark romance era, back in my like Rainiverse era. I'm not sure what these are going to be rated for me. I feel like a bunch of these books might not be super highly rated, but I don't know. I don't know what to expect, but I just have such a fun time with these books because they're so wild and unhinged. And that's just fun. That's everything for now. I will check in once I'm a bit more into this book. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. So this is definitely a later check-in than I really wanted to have. This week just has not gone according to plan, which just kind of feels like my entire 2025, but it's fine. I'm trying to get back on track. But I did end up finishing Vow of Deception last night, which this is technically book 1 in the Deception trilogy, but I have read the prequel novella, so it's a continuation of a series. I, even after sleeping on this for the night, I still don't really know what I'm wanting to rate this book. I feel like it took me a little while to get into because I was very confused at the beginning, not really sure what was going on, and then it got very dark very quickly on the borderline of I'm actually very uncomfortable with this and this is not what I like. And it was more just terrifying. Adrian is terrifying. And I was also finding our female main character a little bit annoying. Although given the situation that she was in, I'm not really sure what I wanted her to do necessarily. I don't know. The whole situation was just very weird and a bit frustrating and uncomfortable. And for a lot of it, I felt like there wasn't much plot. And we know that something happened between Adrian and his wife from the throne duet, and I really wanted to know what happened between the end of that duology and the beginning of this series. So I was still very intrigued and I wanted to know what was happening. And although the plot of this wasn't much more than very questionable smut, I was still very intrigued about what was going on. And Rina Ken's writing style is just very easy to read and fly through. So I also didn't want to put this book down. I was just in a bunch of different minds about this book. And then as I was reading the last 100 pages or so, 80 pages or so of this book, which to be fair, this book isn't even 300 pages, it's 280 pages, I was really getting hooked. It was creepy and twisty, and there was some crazy reveals that just really made me want to pick up the next book to see what was going to happen. So the ending for me was more like a 4-star, but the beginning of the book, I don't know if I can rate it 4 stars because I was like, I don't know, like 3.5 doesn't quite feel like enough, but 4 feels like a bit too much. But I also did have like fun with this one. I don't know. It read a lot more like a psychological thriller, dark romance kind of vibe. So that was a lot of fun. I'm like I said, just so intrigued as to what is going to happen next. But I really, yeah, I don't know what rating I'm going to settle on. I am really leaning to a 4-star because the way that it ended, like everything else made more sense in a way. It was still very questionable and terrifying, but also fun. So, but with that book being done, I am going to start reading the last book for this vlog, which I have a very exciting one. I am going to be reading Rebel Witch by Kristen Cicerelli. This is book 2 in the Crimson Moth duology. The first book was Heartless Hunter, at least in North America. And I'm very excited about this one. I absolutely loved Heartless Hunter, and I've heard really good things about this one from a few people. I think I heard people say that this was even better than Heartless Hunter. So I'm very excited, but I'm also hesitant because I haven't had a single 5-star read in 2025 and we are almost halfway through April. I feel like I've just read some books that I have been excited about and thinking that they were going to be really good and then didn't end up being really good. So I'm trying not to go into this with any expectations, but I also really hope that I love this book. I feel like April, there are so many new releases coming out and I'm just getting a bunch of holes that I have been waiting for that are newer releases. And I'm just really hoping that I'm going to finally find some 5-star reads because your girl needs some high ratings. It's been too long, but I'm going to pick this up. If you haven't read Heartless Hunter or you haven't heard of this book, this series, or this is just a duology. So this duology, we're following a witch and a witch hunter, and witches have been outlawed, I guess. But our witch hides her identity and is a witch hunter, but ends up like helping out the witches. And obviously our witch hunter is just like a witch hunter. He's very against witches, and I'm just really excited. The tension was great. The banter was great. So I'm really hoping that I end up enjoying this one. Hi, I feel like I have done every single check-in for this vlog in this position. The weeks just keep hitting, you know? They just are not coming out the way that I expected them to, but that's okay. Also, the pillows behind me, you can't see those. Those aren't there. I am washing my sheets, trying to get myself a little bit back together, get out of this funk that I have been in for a couple weeks at this point, honestly. But what I'm really here to talk about is I have been reading Rebel Witch for the past few days. I meant to do a check-in a couple days ago. I just can't stop reading. So I have just over 100 pages left. I'm really enjoying it, but I also don't really know what to say about it. In this book, we are following Rune and Gideon very soon after, I think 2 weeks after the events of book 1. And it's kind of this like cat and mouse dynamic, very similar to book 1. And their banter is great. I'm like giggling and squealing and kicking my feet, but at the same time, it's a little bit frustrating because we are in both of their POVs. So we know how they're feeling, and then in the next chapter or something, their opinion will immediately change. So there's a bit of whiplash, which in the situation that they're in, it's understandable why they're feeling the way that they are, but it also is just a lot of fun. There was a pretty big plot point in the middle of this book that I guess the way that it came up shocked me, but I definitely saw coming. And I have an idea of what the ending of this book is going to be, but I don't know why no one else has kind of thought of this yet or thought of this idea like in a political standpoint. So I don't know. I'm really enjoying it. I'm having a lot of fun. I'm reading it very quickly. I don't want to put it down. The writing's very easy to fly through. The font is massive and the chapters are mostly short. So I'll get to the end of the chapter and I'm like, oh, well, maybe I'll just read one more chapter. Well, maybe I'll just read one more chapter. Yeah, I am really enjoying it, but I have found that when I'm putting it down, I'm not really thinking about it. Like when I'm reading it, I'm fully immersed, fully having a great time. But as soon as I put it down, like the story's closed and I'm like kind of done with it. Like I don't exactly remember what is happening, like where I left off yesterday. I'll be able to pick it up as soon as I start reading again, but it's not like staying with me. So because of that, I don't think that this is going to be a 5-star, even though it is like really good. Like I feel like it's probably going to be a 4.5-star, but we'll see how the ending goes. So I finished the book. And yeah, I think 4.5 stars. I definitely really enjoyed it. I thought this was a lot of fun and it was really well done. I was partially right at the ending, and there was definitely a lot of elements of it that I guessed, but I still, like I said, really enjoyed it all the way through. I do feel like the ending was a bit rushed. I wanted a bit more of something. I'm not sure exactly what that something was that I wanted, but I do feel like Rune especially started acting out of character, and she does go through some things in this book, but I feel like it just wasn't explained or elaborated in the way that I was hoping it would have. Maybe I just totally missed that discussion earlier in the book, but yeah, I think this was a solid 4.5 stars. This was a great duology, and I'm intrigued to see what Kristen Cicerelli writes next. I'm not sure. I think she does have other books, doesn't she? Yeah, she also has Edgewood and the Iskari series, so maybe I will look into some of those books. Has anyone else read anything else that she has written? So I feel like this was a pretty successful reading vlog. I caught up slash finished 2 series and continued another one. I really enjoy doing this type of reading vlog because I have so many series that I'm in the middle of and just want to continue and finish off. I don't want to have them lingering around. So these reading vlogs can be difficult to film because obviously it's the later books in the series usually, so I can't say too many things about them. But if you did enjoy this video, please give it a like so that I know. If you have any other reading vlog topics, reading vlog styles you want me to do, let me know. I would love some new ideas, some ways to spice it up. But I really hope that you enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.